Hi, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. My name is Jenna. Today I'm here to do a reading for you for the collective for the week of May 5th through the 11th. Today we are at the 5-5 portal. And if you think about the number 5 in tarot, we move beyond the four-sided, four-dimensional square into something that appears to be a bit more unstable, right? But we do see repeating fives in our world. We have 5 senses, 5 fingers in each hand. We have the 5-pointed star in the pentacle energy. And the biggest thing that I'm gathering for this 5-5 portal is we're at a critical point, a critical juncture in our development, our personal development on the path where it's time to level up. We also think of the 5th element. So there's this magical quality when you combine all the forces. These are all the pillars of your life. It could be all the forces in the universe to co-create what you want. Today's a very magical day to set those intentions, to pause and to consider what kind of life you really want to curate for yourself and where do you want to put your focus and your attention and your energy. So set those intentions today. This is a very magical portal to take the next step in your own personal journey to deepen into whatever it is that you feel called to create in your life at this time. So there's a bit of magic in the air. Again, think of, whenever I hear 5th element, I think of that movie, one of the best, Bruce Willis movies ever. I should re-see that soon, but that's a good one. Let's read a little bit. I actually want to take note of Pluto going into retrograde starting yesterday on the 4th, all the way till, let's see, I'm going to read it to you. I found a passage that I think will really allow you to take the scope of this into consideration, because this is a very fascinating aspect that's going to be impacting everyone when it comes to breaking through certain cyclical patterns and making some significant lasting changes. Again, we're being influenced by that 5 entering into this time period with Pluto going retrograde, which is, he is the lord of the underworld, of the shadowy elements that help carve out, right? And help soften those edges in life. But let's read this. This is from, I believe it, Planetary Oracle 333. And thank you for tuning in, y'all. Sorry if this gets out a little bit later. I'm getting a little bit behind in the energies today. But you know what? This is also a time period during Taurus season is to go with the flow. Beginning May 4th, 2025, Pluto, Lord of the Underworld, stations retrograde in Aquarius, beginning his descent into the deep, hidden layers of the soul. Until October 13th, he will guide us through an inner initiation where truth can no longer be avoided and shadows can no longer be ignored. Pluto's retrograde doesn't shout. It whispers through our psyche, revealing the parts of us we've buried, denied, or outgrown. And you know what? Whenever I sneeze on camera, I've been sneezing more. We do have pollen here, but what are you being called to release in yourself, perception of self? During today, whenever you find this, even if it's after 5-5, you can set those intentions. I think a lot of us are finding evidence right now, even this very moment, you being called to this reading for a reason. Whatever is happening to you in your life, you are starting to realize that you're not the same person. And there are new things happening that are allowing you to be slowly pulled into everything that you've been setting in motion this year, and to gently allow yourself to go in that direction, the direction of the new, the direction of your becoming. Let's go back to this, but sneezing is releasing. So anything that you're doing cathartically at this time, crying, moving, we have to get out the things too that have gotten stuck in the body, in the emotional body. So I welcome sneezing on camera. Sorry if that was loud. Pluto's retrograde doesn't shout, it whispers through our psyche, revealing the parts of us we've buried, denied, or outgrown. This is a powerful time to release old pain, emotional blockages, or attachments. that continue to drain your energy or dilute your power. With Black Moon Lilith and Scorpio squaring Pluto during this retrograde, the intensity will be magnified, forcing us to confront the most raw, wild, and hidden parts of ourselves. Unspoken rage, repressed desires, and buried shame may surface, not to punish, but to liberate. This retrograde asks you to get radically honest about what beliefs, patterns, or relationships that make you feel small, stuck, or unseen. You're being invited to step into your power, not the kind that controls others, but the kind that frees yourself. Go beyond the surface, go into the fire, and trust that what dies now is only clearing the way for a deeper, more embodied rebirth. So I think that really perfectly coincides with the energies of the 5/5 portal. We are almost confronting the old versions of self that we have evolved out of. And now you find yourself in a more evolutionary aspect of the soul and honoring that part of yourself that got you to where you are now. Giving thanks, having gratitude. The next one is by Vex King, 2 of these, is now I want to go into the energies of May. May mood. I'll love you, but I won't lose me again. That's the new non-negotiable. May energy. This chapter is about loving deeply, trusting wisely, and handing out fewer backstage passes to my energy. I thought that was so funny. Thinking of your energy as a backstage pass. Don't just readily give anybody and everyone that pass. It's special privilege, a special privilege to be swimming in the deeper layers of your emotional body, your spiritual body, your physical body, all of it. All right. Spend time with people who make you feel like all parts of you are lovable. That's by Stay Close to Yourself. Now, this one, it stopped me dead in my tracks, and I still sit with it, and I'm in awe of this. There is a woman in our women's circle that Mary McDonald and I have co-created. Y'all have heard that. I haven't spoken much about it, but it's a container that we created. It's the first of its kind between myself and my spiritual mentor. And it's amazing when two people co-create and then they call people for healing into a supportive environment. And this may be some of what you're feeling called to do in your own life. Bringing people together in the spirit of healing. And this woman wrote, her name is Crystal Goldsmith. She wrote a poem that she shared about May with the group a few days ago. And I want to share it with you because it's about May. And I want to thank you, Crystal, if you're watching, for your beautiful lyrical ability to take energy and let it flow through you. Dear May, come like a blessing. There were years I entered May like a warrior in retreat, shoulders tight, heart barricaded, hope kept on a leash. I thought it was strength, but really it was sorrow dressed as armor. I feared that tenderness would vanish too soon, that joy was a trick of the light, that people like me who've known the fire, the silence, the final door don't get soft landings. But something has shifted. This spring, I'm not asking life to prove itself anymore. I'm not standing guard at the gate of my own becoming. I'm not rehearsing heartbreak before it arrives. So May, if you're coming, come gently. Come as the balm, not the battle. Come barefoot and brave, not afraid of the ashes I've carried. Bring what we've been too tender to name. Stillness that calms without demand. Forgiveness that rises like breath, not a bargain. Mornings without grief pressing on my ribs. Nights where laughter doesn't feel borrowed. Bring the sacred ordinariness, a breeze through a cracked window, a sign from someone gone but not lost, a grocery aisle epiphany between almond milk and aching. I no longer need perfection. I need presence. Let May be the month I stop flinching from joy. Let it find the corners of my heart still aching from love that ended too soon. Let it surprise me with softness that stays. C.S. Lewis reminded us that prayer changes us. Brene taught us that vulnerability is the bravest kind of truth. I'm learning both. So I'm not bracing this time. I'm blooming. And if healing is coming, may it touch every part of me I thought I had to hide. This month, I'm asking for grace that settles deep, miracles that don't need an audience, a love that knows how to stay. Amen to the stillness. Amen to the return. Amen to the girl who never stopped rising. You may want to come back to this at the end of May. I feel like this is the most poetically, beautifully stated, crafted way to describe this portal of energy that we all find ourselves in this month. Let it cradle you this month in a softness, in a type of healing that you've been calling from the deepest depths of your being. All right. That just moves me so much whenever I read that poem. May May come in as a blessing. Let's get into the divination part of this reading. Thank you, Spirit, for presiding over this reading for the collective today. All right, let's see. Let's see some oracle messages. Nourishment. Yes, deeply nourishing. Look at that. We're being nourished by the emotional flow of each day and the abundance that can bring when we give ourselves space to feel what we want to feel, what we need to feel, what we need to purge, what we need to release, what we need to exchange with others. Nourishment and fruition. A lot of us are stepping into new timelines. I just saw 1141. That might be really powerful because that is the starting gate of a new beginning supported by the angelic realm. I'm just feeling into that energy right now. A lot of us are walking new timelines where we feel a little bit more tenderhearted, more fragile. There's some sort of deeply nourishing fruition happening for you at this time, and it's an emotional feeling of abundance. She's wearing, look at that. Interesting how we have a very similar energy here. Tidal wave of emotion coming from the moon. I think this Scorpio moon that is incoming is washing things clean for us, where there's a lot of new rewards and new gifts coming in for everyone. Personal gifts in the frequency that we're feeling and we're being bathed in. New, higher divine gifts, awakening, opening. In the gift of the richness of the exchange, I'm getting the exchange of energy. Fruition, nourishment. I love Taurus season. It's like, nurture yourselves, enjoy the bounty and the beauty of a prosperous life. And I'm getting more like, eat the fruits, right? Eat, nourish your body, nourish your soul, nourish your mind. Beauty. Unmask yourselves. I'm getting that. Unmask yourselves, dear ones. Some of us have felt like almost like I almost feel like there's a little bit of fear, right? In facing the inner beauty. Like we've had to live in a world where we've had to have a certain level of armor. I mean, Crystal really embodied this in her poem. I mean, this is the unveiling of our inner beauty and allowing that to radiate out and allowing your own soul to nourish you. As far as the numerology, we have 7 going into 37 into 29. So we have 7 into 1 into 11. So it's a deeply spiritual new vibration where we're feeling and sensing and almost reaching for the beauty of our lives, the beauty of our existence, the beauty of being alive, and the richness that we can experience from that. And this almost feels like a bird mask. And birds are high, they soar through the heavens. They see from this elevated point of view. So a lot of people are finding themselves in this elevation of like an eagle's perch, where you are in more of your wise mind. There's something really beautiful that's shifting. I'm going to get a frequency. Let's get a frequency here that coincides. Actually, I did this yesterday and I thought it was fascinating. I haven't done this before. Let's clarify nourishment And let's clarify fruition. And let's clarify beauty. What is the energy frequency that coincides with nourishment, Spirit? What do you want us to know? How deeply nourishing soul time is. It softens us. Soul time with others, soul time with Spirit. And the freedom that comes from things coming full circle, right? The fifth element. The freedom of a new beginning, of setting ourselves free, to believe in new possibilities, and then the beauty that we're unveiling on this new pathway of connection. Wow, isn't that beautiful? And then we have, coinciding with 7, we have 4. New spiritual depths that are supported by the higher dimensional planes, a new beginning and a sense of sovereign freedom, and then a higher octave of magnified vibration through connection, and the 5 portal of connection, that's 14. Wow. So soul time. The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. Let it nourish you. Let your eternal nature nourish you this week. And then freedom with fruition. The energy of freedom supports our sense of limitless possibility and potential, boundless expression, and bold exploration. It's like we're the pioneers of a new age. This Pluto shift with Aquarius. We're digging deep, some of us, on our soul's timelines to free ourselves from limited thinking. The possibilities are endless. And then we have connection. The frequency of connection supports our ability to find alignment and resonance with others, things, and ideas. Yeah. Oh, it's almost like you're being laid bare in a vulnerable truth, in connection, that the new human is more evolved, more telepathic, and everything becomes more rich and deep. I like that pairing. Y'all have to let me know how you like that. All right, now let's get into the tarot. 8 of Pentacles at the bottom. Be proud of how far you've come on the path. I'm getting that. Take a pause as you consider everything that you've been shedding this year and how even your 5 senses, what you do with your hands, everything is shifting. And you could get lost in the shift, or you can find a new way of operating, a new way of being, a new way of seeing yourself in the shift. And that's what grounds you. Anchor into this planet. Anchor into her frequency. Anchor into your higher self. There's so much beauty and so much abundance there. All right, let's go into the tarot. Let's see, Spirit. What have we got? What you don't see coming this week, collective. Walking away from the old. Ceremonially. 7 of Cups are sinking into the sea. Releasing. Crying those salty tears if you need to. Letting go of the old. I know it's been difficult, but I think most of us, whatever we've had to surrender, we've pretty aware of it now. We're walking towards a greater timeline, a greater, more evolved way of being. This is having hope and faith in a new horizon, in a new dawn, and shedding the old layers, shedding the old limited beliefs, the old attachments, right? The old trauma. And she's wearing white, and she sheds from a place of peaceful empowerment, and she walks slowly, deliberately towards the light within herself. And then where do we go? Into our emotional intelligence, into the great waters of the Scorpio energies that are grounding us through Taurus season. This is like a deeply transformative month for everyone, where we're sinking into the new, and it's like getting used to It's hard to explain, isn't it? If you were to sit someone down and say, I've been through a beautiful spiritual awakening and I'm not the same. And then someone says, well, describe it. Well, I feel so more in tune with what my heart wants and needs. I feel everything on such a deep level. My heart cracks open for the world. I just want to love and I want to be loved. And I sense it from the deepest parts of my soul. And I know how to emotionally regulate. A lot of people are walking towards love right now. Real, true, divine love with others and love of self. This is where we're meant to be. King of Cups. And he's almost like, I envision him kind of playing with the sound bowl here with his nail and creating the sound of his heart so it echoes out through the sea and calls to him other beings, other people, animals, sea creatures, towards his own specific heart vibration. Some of you are being summoned and called towards that, and you're finding others. Oh my God. And you're deepening the High Priestess. The Divine Feminine is awakening. The Divine Masculine heart. This is happening to everyone. It's more unifying and whole when we heal the Divine Masculine and we awaken to the Divine Feminine leading the way. This is when the Divine Masculine says, I want to lead with love. And I want to honor the sacred beauty within me. Wow, this is a balancing week. Wow. A lot of emotions will be flowing this week. And I think you could feel maybe some specific healing going on with certain individuals in your life. I feel like it's more than one thing. And again, this has been a theme lately. Be less concerned with what you're walking away from and more aware of what you're walking toward. And calling that in from, there's like an authentic heart opening going on. And this deep subconscious realm around that with the High Priestess. I mean, she rules the moon and the phases of the moon. This Scorpio moon is a powerful shift. And I think we're just starting to open up into that portal. We're a week away. So allow this moon to nourish you. It's almost like our waters are being cleansed and we're opening up to more of our intuitive wisdom because we're letting go of controlling how things should be when we open up our hearts. Let's clarify the High Priestess. The Magician and the Queen of Swords. I'm telling you, we're marrying emotional intelligence with truth and integrity, and we're being led and guided through an initiation where we really resolve and alchemize the old, and we recreate and rebirth into a newer timeline here. This is not easy what we've been doing. Creating more magic. The Magician and the High Priestess. Page of Wands. Tentative new beginnings. A lot of conversations. A lot of meeting of like-minded souls. There we go. And you know, it's interesting. I was wondering because of the fives. Temperance is a 5 vibration. I move my glasses. Actually, I put them here. So be patient when you're co-creating and blending energies. There's a patience involved, a tempering of the energies. Clarifying this High Priestess. Oh, and the Queen of Wands. Wow. Powerful, powerful fierceness. It's interesting how, because the Hierophant is a 5 card as well, but the High Priestess came out instead. So there's a softening of the heart. And we're being pulled into our creative fires. Queen of Wands. Not only are we alchemizing the old, we're co-creating now. Now we're getting to work. Now we're rebuilding our lives. We're rebuilding self. And we're rebuilding our connections. Whatever you're drawing into you, into your own sphere of life, it has real beauty and magic underneath it at this time. So be very intentional. Be very, very intentional. There's love in the air. There's magic in the air at this time. Wow. There's so much inner beauty. And everyone's being soul-led and guided towards the work that makes them feel passionately alive. Soul-led. Bringing more heart, intuition, and fire into co-creating the life you want to build. This is get to work. Practice your craft. What Crystal's doing, crafting her words as a wordsmith, going deep into her own cathartic journey of the soul. Seems like a very creative time for everyone to go deep into the heart's terrain and swim there for a little while. Get comfortable, right? Go under the water and explore. I was watching the second Avatar with a friend a few nights ago, and I was just like, whoa, I was in a whole nother world. And that's what it feels like. Some of us are like, we're swimming through a whole nother reality, and it's deep, and it's full of passion. So there's a lot of time and energy being put into new bonds. Things have been left behind now. Now it's what are we building in this new phase of life. A lot of it's like a whole new era. I'm really liking this energy for the week, you all. It feels very... I told you, love is in the air. There's something magical unfolding, a healing, a deep, deep, deep healing between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, as the divine feminine steps forward and takes the lead. It's almost like the divine masculine sitting back and going, you are so beautiful. You are so beautiful. I see into you. Why? I didn't see before. I couldn't see it. So no matter if you're male or female, I think there's almost like this awe this week of how gorgeous the divine feminine is in her rising. I mean, this is rising and co-creating. There's a lot of beautiful healing and energies that are bringing more balance to these two spheres within us. And then we're now finding it outside of us in other people. And it's almost like a miracle where the more we give ourselves the space to have soul time, to co-create with the universe, and have the freedom in unlimiting ourselves and what's possible, we're now experiencing the beauty of deep, deep connection. And that's what we came here for. I think a lot of us that are following this channel and feeling the guidance of the higher realms through this, it's like we're following the lead, right, of the higher self. I don't know if you heard that. And there was some resistance that we were kicking up earlier this year. But if you knew now, it's almost like, think of where you were a couple months ago. What Spirit said, you have to let this go. And you have to trust me. And that was hard. But now you're like, the things are coming in now that Spirit said, trust me. And if you're in a point now where you're being asked to let go of something that's okay or not good enough, it's because you got to trust your own inner being enough to guide you and lead you towards something so much better. It's like if I only knew that I was settling for something so much less than what I've evolved into. Why would I go back to a lower entrapment or entrainment of my vibration when I'm meant to rise? So there's a rising going on. Let me get a keeper of the light. There's a rising going on in connection, whether it's platonic or romantic. It's like it's nourishing your soul and your own emotional blossoming into a higher octave of love. This is love. This is love that meets intuition, that meets passion, and the work being put into it to be intentional and to walk towards the new, where things are more balanced in within and without. Let's get a keeper of the light. So like I said, this is a beautifully healing week where we're awakening into deeper presence. We have El Moria. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. Look at that. Look at how he's got Metatron's cube, and we had 11 come out. We have the third eye, the jewel, right? The jewel of the pineal awakening and the interconnectivity, the sacred geometry of the cosmos. And he's wearing a blue robe, signaling royalty on the path of peace. Let me read El Moria. He's guiding us into this portal, this 5-5 portal. I'm looking now for the guidebook. Do I not have the guidebook? Interesting. Oh, now my solar plexus is going nuts. Interesting. You know what? I may have to... I don't have the guidebook. You know, for those of you who have Keepers of the Light, I'm looking. I don't have it. Oh, there it is. That's a thing too. Maybe some of us were trying too hard. And then we said, I'm over-efforting. Let me just surrender. And now it's like, let things come to you. The Queen of Wands summons things to her. She just attracts it straight to her doorstep. She doesn't have to work hard for it. She doesn't have to chase. She embodies. And then it arrives to her. It's your presence. All right, let's see, El Moria. Thank you for humoring me in my lostness here. Spiritual protection is important at this time. Ensure that you're cleansing your energy before putting on protection. Amoria is here with a legion of angels to help you understand where you're at now. Fire up your divine connection and detach from dramas, people, places, and emotions that no longer serve you. Remember that within you there is a mighty soul light. Allow that light. 8 of Cups. Allow that light to shine through your entire being. Then call on El Moria and his angels to surround you in a light that will keep you safe on all levels. Also know that facing fears and seeing the truth will strengthen your connection to the universal life force. I like that, El Moria. All right, now let's go into Mark Nepo and the reading for the day. And also, happy Cinco de Mayo for those of you celebrating that. All right, our essential clearness, like clouds moving in water, problems make me forget I am clear. Water reflects everything it encounters. Interesting how we're talking about water and we're facing incoming a Scorpio moon, a plutonic shift that's ruled by Scorpio. Okay, water reflects everything it encounters. This is so commonplace that we think water is blue when in fact it has no color. And we have a lot of blue here and a lot of blue. And we're also walking towards blue, connection, blue, and the freedom, blue. Rare blue this week, okay? Look at that. Navy. No wonder. There's no coincidence that I wore blue today. Amazingly, while soft and flowing, water, as ocean or lake or even as the smallest puddle of rain, takes on the image of the entire world without ever losing its essential clearness. Of course, it is not easy for us. As emotional beings, we're constantly losing ourselves in the image of everything we experience. But nonetheless, the nature of water can help us understand our very human struggles. I began, like so many of us, in a household where it was somehow my job to be the lightning rod for the family's tensions of unexpressed emotion. In this way, I learned to be a problem solver, a rescuer, a caretaker. Through 2 marriages and countless friendships, I loved by taking on the clouded emotions of those I loved. The tension of other people's unexpressed emotions kept me from feeling my own depth and clarity. My life became one of turbulence, always struggling to keep my head above the cloudy surface. But the water, the glorious water everywhere, has taught me that we are more than what we reflect or love. This is the work of compassion, to embrace everything clearly without imposing who we are and without losing who we are. No wonder I Talked about that love quote about not losing oneself anymore in love. It is, to be sure, an endless and impossible task, but though we can never be as clear as water, it helps to remember that while the very real problems we face are the living things we must handle, they are not the essential current of our lives. Beneath the clouds, water desires only to flow. And beneath our tensions and problems, the human spirit wants only to embrace and soften. The next time a loved one voices frustration, disappointment, or pain, notice your reaction. Are you problem solving or accepting what they are saying? Are you trying to cheer them up or bear witness to their experience? Are you left holding their pain or deepen for what is shared? If you can, receive this pain as if it were a stone dropped into clear, moving depth of who you are. If you can, receive this pain as if it were a stone dropped into the clear, moving depth of who you are. Wow. Wow. That just perfectly coincides with this energy of 5, quintessence. Quintessence is the energy. What a beautiful word, quintessence. Let's get some advice. And then we're going to end with a sacred forest oracle, as it being Taurus season, right? We got to bring in a little bit of Mama Nature. This is a longer one, folks. Let's get some advice. I love it, though. It's great to be here with you all. Hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Look at that movement. Ooh, yummy, yummy. Signs, synchronicities, feeling lit up, feeling charged, feeling ready for action, ready to go, excited. 8 of Wands. Page of Pentacles, make plans. This is forward motion, forward momentum. Keep it going, right? Move through it. Oh, yep. There we had to have a cup energy, 5 of Cups. I feel like spirit, it's like we're getting a push from spirit. Keep moving through it. Keep going. Don't give up, right? Keep imagining opening, releasing, feel into those waters, connect, cleanse, witness. We're moving past the sadness of whatever we've had to leave behind. Sadness for the parts of ourselves that we're trying to survive. And now we can thrive. Okay? Let's get a final pull as I hit the desk. All right, final pull for the week. Into the sacred forest we go, hand in hand. On this beautiful quintessence timeline. Through the 5-5 portal, flexibility. And look at that. We've got a very strong fairy realm connection here. Willow spirit. Oh, the divine grandmother in us all, right? Nurturing. That reminds me of Pocahontas and the willow tree. We have number 48 going into 12, which is 13. The power of 3, 1 + 1 = 3. It's our own unique energy blueprint combined with other blueprints, creating a new era, a new world, a new life. 40, or is that 40? Let me see. I'm pretty sure it's 48. Yes, it is. I'm like, oh, did I see that right? All right. This card encourages you to be flexible in your life, be willing to bend and even to yield. There is power in doing this as a choice rather than as a forfeit of your will. Even though there are times to stand strong, sometimes the greater valor is to go around a situation rather than face it head on. By being adaptable, you can succeed, whereas someone who is more rigid may not. In rough winds, a strong oak tree may break, while the willow can bend without snapping. Adjust to life rather than fight it. Surrender to the process. As the willow can weather storms, so you too can weather life's challenges. There are many legends regarding the willow tree. It often has associations with gods and goddesses such as Hecate, Artemis, and Mercury. In ancient Athens, it was a practice of the priests of Asclepius to place willow branches in their temples in the belief that it would draw mystical healing. I told you it's a very mystically healing week. The willow was also sacred to poets, for the sound of the wind through the willow was thought to influence poetic expression. In Celtic traditions, the willow has always been known as a tree of dreaming, inspiration, and enchantment. The spirit of the Willow says this week, be flexible in your life. Be willing to bend rather than break. Be amenable to change, and you will flourish in wondrous ways. Feel the magic. What a gorgeous reading. Thank you for tuning in, as always, for sharing this beautiful sacred time with me. I'm with you in spirit as you go about your week. I will be finishing as far as the announcements. Thank you for joining in for the reading announcements. Sorry for the delay. Taurus, I'm reading you today. I promise. I'm going to read you next. So that will be coming out shortly after this reading if you're like catching them as they're launched. Thank you for your patience now that we're really deep into your season. I can't wait to see what's unfolding for you. A lot of wonderful yumminess I'm feeling coming in for you, Taurus, for your new solar return in this next year. So I'm looking forward to sinking into that this afternoon. I think that's about it, folks. Sending you lots of love and light. Namaste.